Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Today has been absolutely phenomenal regarding the meltdowns, and I'm going to take you a little history story just because this story has to be told really. But then we need to talk about some transfer news that is kicking about this afternoon regarding a player that looks like he definitely is on his way back to Celtic. It'll be interesting to see how you feel about that. It still kind of splits the fans, this one. But first of all, I'm going to let you listen to a few videos of how it started and how it's going for Philippe Clement.
Well, Rangers would be getting a proven winner, both as a player and as a manager. He's won numerous Belgian titles as a player, and of course he's come to prominence in recent years for those 3 consecutive titles that he won in Belgium with Genk and Club Brugge.
A lot goes into managing a club like Rangers in terms of pressure and expectation. Sometimes it's about more than winning football matches. What type of character is he?
Well, I think he has the mentality to come into this environment and absolutely kind of grab it by the horns, really. He understands the need to win and win big. He's familiar with coming into clubs that are in a degree of disarray, restoring a sense of order and kind of getting them firing again.
Yeah, what was that Belgian success like? What optimism should Rangers fans take from that track record?
Well, I think he's used to getting results kind of quickly. His very first coaching job at a club called Beveren in Belgium, he went in there and had such an impact that he was actually only there for 6 months before getting whisked away by Genk, and then turning them around very, very quickly, and then impressing his previous employers at Club Brugge, going back there and winning those back-to-back titles.
Now, as we said, sometimes winning is not enough here. It needs to be done with a certain style. What type of style of play does Philippe Clement tend to favour?
Well, it's predominantly a possession-based game, but he likes his sides to play a high line, and he looks to get in behind, so he looks to draw the opposition out.
He definitely likes to get in behind. He likes to get in behind the back of Celtic. Let's listen to Clement when he first came in the door.
Because of the talks we had, so last couple of weeks, last couple of months, I spoke with several clubs.
No, you didn't. This is... that should have been a red light then. It's like this is like the hundreds of comments, the hundreds of texts that he's been having. I spoke with loads of clubs.
Or also outside of Europe. And this felt like the best project. And the thing I was looking for, a club with a lot of passion, a real football club, with a lot of fans. But also the people that I met from the club
we've all left just now.
Really passionate about the club.
What was that process like? It was widely reported Graham Souness was involved in the process. Did you meet him, and what was the overall process like for you?
It's true that Graham was there in the first talk to go in depth about football, about details, about the team, about...
who cares anyway? How's it going just now, Philippe?
Yeah, very disappointed about the result and for sure about our level in the first half. So we throw away the 3 points today ourselves in this first half with not showing enough quality on the ball, but also losing a lot of duels. And like this, and giving also away a goal that we should not give away.
Oh, what a shame, eh? You'll be complaining about those pesky goalkeepers again that always seem to up their game when they do play Rangers. Now let's go back a bit in history again and listen to the one and only Chris Boyd before Clement came in.
Well, there was an energy about Rangers today, especially the young boys. Lovelace, the first period when he was on, he obviously got injured. McCausland comes on, and as I said, a lot of his play was 1 and 2 touch. That's sharpness, and I thought Raskin was pretty good today as well. If you're being critical, you'd be looking for more from your number 9 as such. I thought, Kim Arif had only had 4 touches in the first half, and one of them was, a kick-off. Dess's come on and wastes another golden opportunity when he goes through 1-on-1. He's got to be doing better. It's not Stephen Davis. There needs.
I'm just telling him, I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, you're not trying to help me because you don't even know what I'm going to say.
Idea.
Stephen Davis is not going to be the manager of the football club, but whether it's Stephen Davis, have someone that is the club's man within the next working managing, to set up the next managerial. But for me, I think Stephen Davis will.
Well, Stephen Davis. But anyway, then we go on to today. Yes, today's meltdown. It was. This one is quite good. Now just take your time, lad. Take your time.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Anytime soon?
Hello. No idea how long this stream is going to last.
Very poetic.
But here we are.
He's a poet.
Alright. I want to end it right now. But I thought the people are due a stream. It's been a while since I did a stream. I can't remember when the last stream was. But
You've been
5
hiding.
days ago. Something like that. So before we get into Rangers, right? Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Boxing Day. And all that good stuff. Alright. And the new year is around the corner. So that's brilliant. That's phenomenal. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas. I mean, I was up to about 1746. You could have had a good Boxing Day. Now, depending on who you support. You could have had a greater Boxing Day post then, but yeah, didn't go according to plan. Myself in. Hopefully you enjoyed the thumbnail. Been testing out a lot of AI recently. Celtic man. But you watch it with your son today. Yes, it really did change things. Let's talk about it then. Because Boxing Day's all been wrapped up. I mean, what happened yesterday? I mean, Man United get beat, which is always funny, but I don't really care about it because it happened at the exact same time where you get beat. What else? Didn't really watch anything. I'm going to watch Squid Game actually later, so looking forward to that. But in terms of Rangers, man, what is there to say? So much is getting made about the second half, right? And the second half, I know, what's going on? Stone Cold Steve Austin. What was I even going to say? So much is getting made about the second half, and it's like we drew one each, Phil. You know what I mean? We drew one each. It's not like we lost 4-0 in the first half and won the second half 3-0, which wouldn't be acceptable, right? Bear in mind. A white flag in the background under Clement. Totally agree. What is there to say, man? Honestly, I never come on here with a script. I just come on and talk, but I've got nothing good to say about Rangers right now. I don't. It's like I'm not delusional, man. But, you know, it was like, right, the gap's 9 points. Win the next 2 games. Maybe win at Ibrox. You get it down to 6. Doors slightly ajar. I am done with slightly ajar doors, put it that way. I think Clement should go. He does need to go, man. You know what? There was hints yesterday that he was throwing some players under the bus for not listening to him. We need more than just hints. I think if Clement's to survive with the fans, he needs...
You've got to remember, right? It's only 1 year and 2 months that Clement has been in the job. It's quite a long time for a Rangers manager, isn't it?
To start calling it players more. But then it's easier to get rid of one man than the players, man. But the players need to go. Barami, absolutely bogging yesterday. Robin Proper shouldn't wear a shirt again, but I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. These guys shouldn't be playing for Rangers. I mean, Barami, I'm not going to say he shouldn't be playing for Rangers, right? Because I think, Aberdeen get beat 4-0. we were going to make a fid on that on Fog Football, and they're like, we'll do it after dawn. Should have been accepted. You look at Raskin, he's the same age as O'Reilly. O'Reilly's Celtic's recent 30 million export, and Raskin is compared to the Engels. Well, I'm going to do it anyway. Butland was on the night feeds before. -12. Yep, it's freezing. There's no excuses. The second half, we were absolute wank. We bombarded them for 15 minutes. And then we get the goal, and then we just kind of let St Mirren come back into it. To be fair, Stephen Robinson made a lot of changes, but that was bad for him. He was 18 at the time. Trying earlier this season, which looked a lot better than a lot of the players because they weren't. But see now that we had a decent wee spell, he's been found out. Yeah, still young, still time to improve, but I'd be telling Aberdeen to stick their compensation fee right up their arse and take him back. Because honestly, just a fucking passenger in that game yesterday, man. passenger. I mean, not the only one.
Oh, man.
Dujon Sterling made a mistake for that second goal, but Robin Proper's defending. All he's got to do is mark the guy. And you know what he needs to do? Fucking just see when that guy's running through. Why not just stick the boot for him proper? Get the draw. Just an absolute mess. He's been managed poorly. Conor Barrett. If Celtic gets Tierney, there's no hope for the Gers. Yeah, man, Celtic don't need Tierney. There's no hope right now. Absolute. More handsome with a beard. That's what I like to hear. What's Craig White saying? You can see Rangers beating us. You beating News next week. Dead rubber match. That's what it is. I don't care. I actually do not care. I say,
A dead rubber match, and we're we're going into January, and they're calling it a dead rubber match already. Yep, a dead rubber match in January.
said this. I think it was in the video of Fog Football last night. If anything, if we get beat, I think that gets Clement potentially sacked. I never want to lose, but if we close the gap to 9 points, man, that could get this. I'm petrified of what the rest of this season's going to hold. I mean, I've had roll on 2025 is the title of this stream at the end.
Oh man,
I don't want it. 2025, man. Can't be any worse.
Oh man, we have broken them.
Can't be any worse than 2024.
Yeah, we've broken them. Yes, we have broken them. The Rebels have won, and we have finally broken the Dark Lords. Yes, we've broken the dark side completely. Now you can see on the screen. There's an old guy. There's a guy that used to start up many new channels, many channels, and then try and spam the hell out of us. And he says, he has a bit of a moan. People need to get their head around the fact that we could go through 40 managers and we still won't change anything until we break the hold and the power and the influence they have in Scotland. Am I reading this right? It's Jesus God, man. And the Masonic sludge controlled Scotland. Anyway, in Scotland, nothing will change. I thought that the League Cup final woke people up, but apparently not. And then this guy goes on to say, I grew up knowing we had to beat the referee. What's changed? What age is this guy? 12. It didn't stop Walter Smith or McLeish winning trophies galore. It didn't stop Gerrard going unbeaten for a full league season. During the COVID year, oh my goodness, how about you demand more of our clubs do better? Oh my goodness. It is absolute meltdown. Anyway, let's get on to the Celtic transfer news, because there is a little bit of Celtic. We'll get rid of that altogether, won't we? We don't really want to see them when we talk about Celtic transfer news. So the Celtic transfer news that is kicking around today, obviously, there's a lot of chat now coming out of London to the fact that Kieran Tierney has been informed by Arsenal that they will not be extending his contract with the year extension that they did have on his contract. He can now talk to clubs from the 1st of January, which is just around the corner, as can Greg Taylor. Yes, as can Greg Taylor. Now, when you look at the situation, it looks like Tierney will be making his way to Celtic. At the age of 27-year-old, this article goes on to say, I'm pretty sure that he's got much to offer still throughout his playing career as a first-choice player. For once, we relied on him heavily at Arsenal, especially in the 2021 season, thanks to his crosses. And us Gunners will be wishing him very well the best, the very best for the rest of his career. And they're saying that it looks like that he is in talks, or there has been discussions had with him to go back to Celtic. So what do you feel about that, Celtic fans? How do you feel about Kieran Tierney coming back to Celtic? And it looks like it will be done. There was a Lanky said on the channel last night that it is a done deal, and then Greg Taylor will be heading out the door in another direction. We still need to get a left back to come in once Alex Baye leaves, and at the end of the season. I don't know if Celtic will try and do anything with Barcelona to try and get that deal done as a full-time deal. Would he want to play second fiddle to Kieran Tierney, or is there someone that's coming through the ranks at Celtic that we can use as a backup to Kieran Tierney? And is it somebody, because let's face it, we need to start getting guys through the academy, just like we once did with Kieran Tierney. And I think there'd be no better player for a left back to learn off is Kieran Tierney. You can say what you want about him when it comes to the injuries over the last few seasons. I did say at the beginning of this season, when there was chat about him coming back, that I didn't think it would work. I hope I'm proved wrong. I really hope. And if he does come back, there's one thing: we're all going to get behind him. There's nobody not going to get behind him. And I mean, it might be a bit like the Rodgers situation, where people are saying at the beginning he shouldn't have come back. But if he goes on and lifts up the championship trophy, standing aside James Forrest and Callum McGregor at the end of this season, he's one of us, and that's all that matters, and that's what you want players to be like. And just like that Rangers podcast said, if we get Tierney back, they're doing absolutely nothing. But anyway, it's not just Tierney that is on his way to Celtic, allegedly. There is one player, Louis Palma, that has, there was all talk about him going to America, but it now looks like he may be heading to Greece. Now, Greece may be a nice option for Louis Palma, and I'm going to tell you why. Olympiacos is have approached the Honduran that says over a potential move to Greece, and I think that he would take up the move to Greece because it gets him one step closer to ultimately where he wants to be playing football. If he was to go to America, his dream of playing in Spain, that's done, it's gone. If he goes to Greece, there is a little bit of there's a bigger chance of a club in Spain then picking him up. It's very unlikely that a Spanish club would pick him up playing in Scotland, just the way that the Spanish are. But if they can see him playing in Greece and playing at a level of competition, that could be good. He might ultimately get his dream, and it's a backdoor move. Maybe not the move that he wanted to get to Spain, but ultimately he does want to play in Spain, and Olympiacos would be a fantastic move for Louis Palma. Now, if he goes out the door, we need to get another winger in. Brendan Rodgers is looking at other wingers. There is various players that have been mentioned and linked with Celtic over the last couple of weeks. There's no use adding to the speculation because it's going to kick off even more in the next couple of days. Today is the 27th of December. Contract talks are starting to take place all around Europe. Will Celtic get their business done early? And I think that if Celtic really want to hit the ground running in January, considering all the really, really important games that we do have coming up in January, I mean, we spoke about them before, January is just as busy as December. Gone are the days where the players they get past the game on the 2nd of January and they've then got the little break in Dubai to think about. They go on a couple of days holiday first and then get full back into training. They're not going to have that this January. They're right back into the thick of it. I mean, there's 3 games in the first week in January, which is unheard of in a Scottish football sense. And then when you look at the 2 Champions League games thrown into the mix, it's a massive, massive period. And the Scottish Cup game in January. Brendan Rodgers wants this team fighting on all fronts. This is the time of the season where Brendan, this is the money-making part of the season for you, mate. This is where the big calls and the big decisions from you and the guys upstairs need to be made fast. Never mind waiting about to the end of the transfer window. Celtic need to get their finger out the proverbial bumhole, and rather than sitting on their fingers, they need to get their finger out and get the business side of it done early on in January, because it could save us thousands in the market by getting the deals done early. Look what happens with Adam Ida. I mean, that went on and on and on. We ended up paying far too much for him. If we want a player, just go in and just pay what we think is a reasonable amount and get the deal done as quick as we can. We know that it's sometimes hard when there's other clubs involved, but just pay the money, Celtic. We've got it. You know, if you know the players that you want for the positions that Brendan is targeting, which is a left back, a striker, and a holding midfield player, if that's the positions that he really wants and he knows the players, just get the deals done, and I think that we'll all be happy. And then obviously if Greg Taylor, we'll be looking for a left back because Greg Taylor can speak to anyone. Brendan Rodgers can say all he wants about the fact I want Greg to stay, I want him staying. He has done in the media over the last couple of weeks, but he knows. He knows the game of football. As soon as it hits the 1st of January, boom, Greg Taylor's off out the door at Celtic. He will be sold, and it looks like he may be going south quicker than we think. But anyway, and in the other direction, it looks like Kieran Tierney may be returning to Celtic. That's something that I never thought would happen, but it looks as if it might. Anyway, on that note, hope you enjoyed the meltdown in this video, because it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? I'll see you on the next video.